In this lecture, we're going to talk about email servers and what they do and how they work. More specifically, we're going to talk about using email servers to perform book marketing. Now, even more specifically, we're going to automate that book marketing for truly passive income. You need to do virtually nothing except drive potential readers to your subscriber sign up list and periodically send out notifications of new books that you come out with. Otherwise, everything else drives on automatic. Now, let's take a look first at what it is that email servers do, and then we'll look at each of these steps in more detail. Step one, it hosts a list of your email addresses belonging to potential customers. So you don't maintain the email addresses on your PC and send them from your PC. If you did that, if you sent thousands of emails from your PC, you would be marked as a spammer and shut down almost immediately. So you maintain your mailing list on an email server and it sends emails for you. Next, the server hosts a sign-up form or multiple sign-up forms to solicit people to sign up to your mailing list. Now, the sign-up form usually offers something known as a lead magnet. This leads people into signing up to your email list, and it's something of value that you're going to give away to them for free. It might be a short story or a novella or a summary of your book series, something useful that your readers will want, and they'll sign up to your mailing list to get it. Next, it reliably sends bulk email while avoiding being banned as a spammer. The email servers have special dispensation on the internet, and it's already known that they're going to send a lot of email, so they're allowed to do it. If you do that from your PC will be shut down. So they send bulk email from the server, not from your PC. The next thing they do is they follow regulatory requirements. And for instance, they allow subscribers to unsubscribe. You'll notice if you've received bulk email, which you probably have from signing up to mailing lists, that there's always an unsubscribe button. It's usually really small and hard to see. It's at the end of an email. This is one of the requirements to follow the regulatory requirements. Now, the email server also follows the GDPR requirements of Europe and so on, being open and notifying people of what they're signing up for and what it's doing. And unsubscribing is part of those regulatory requirements. The next thing that you can do is you can actually segment your email list to target even finer who you're sending emails to. For instance, you might send to users or subscribers that have opened your emails in the past. They're actually showing some interest. You might send emails to subscribers that have made purchases in the past or answered one of your surveys in a particular way. So you can carve up your email list to really target your emails to those where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. And then what the email server can do is it follows automation instructions to send hands-off email. Now, this is the true passive revenue generation of email. It will run without you doing anything. For instance, let's say you say, okay, when they sign up for the email list, send them this email, and that gives them their lead magnet. And then 1 week later, send them an email about the first book in one of your series. 1 week later, send them another email. So it will automatically send emails to them. You don't have to do anything. This is true passive income. Now let's take a look at each one of these steps in detail. First of all, we're using MailerLite as our mail server. So MailerLite will maintain our list of addresses. There are typically hundreds to thousands of addresses that it stores on the email server for you. The next thing that you can do is it hosts sign-up forms. Now, sign-up forms are actual web pages that have a blank line in them or a fill-in-the-form field where the person could put their email address. They can also put their name, phone number, whatever you want to prompt them for. Now, most of the time, these sign-up forms offer a lead magnet, something for free, to get users to sign up to the mailing list. Here we can see user number 3 is signing up to the mailing list via a sign-up form, and his address is being added to the end of the mailing list. Now, this sign-up form can be a standalone page, So it can just be a page sitting out there on the internet. That's what we're going to use. It can be a pop-up form. Have you ever gone to those internet sites where suddenly a form pops up asking you to sign up for some course or some free book? I find them extremely annoying and usually leave the website soon after getting struck by pop-ups. So I don't like them, but apparently they're extremely effective. And marketing people recommend that you use pop-up forms. Another option is to embed your sign-up form into a WordPress website. It can actually be over on the right-hand side in the right-hand column on your WordPress website. But what we're going to do is we're going to embed a link to our standalone form in a book. Now, we're going to put it at the beginning and the end of the book. At the beginning of the book, you're looking for readers that are browsing your books. They're looking inside the book on Amazon. They haven't bought your book yet, but they can still sign up to your mailing list. And then you put it at the end of the book again. This is for people that have finished your book and they go, wow, that was a satisfying read. I think I'll sign up to the mailing list to get more of these. So that's the way it's going to work for us. Users or potential readers are going to see your link to your sign-up form and they're going to read about the lead magnet that you're offering. They're going to go to your sign-up form and sign up from your book, and their address will be added to your address list on the mail server. Now notice that your sign-up can be either single or double opt-in. We're going to look at this in more detail. Single opt-in just adds the user to your email list. The problem with that is that the email isn't verified. It may be a bogus email and you could be getting spammed via your form. So what I like to do is do double opt-in. What happens is the email server automatically sends an email to the potential new addressee asking them to verify their email. Once they click on a link to verify their email, you know it's a good email and you can add it to your mailing list. Now you need to note that your primary job out there, this is what you're really working for, is to send traffic to your sign-up form. That's the hard part. That's what's missing in this whole thing, is where does the traffic come from? That's your job. Via social media, via friends and peers, via anything else, you get people to go look at your sign-up form. You do it via ads on Facebook and other places. You're going to constantly be promoting your sign-up form, and it better be a really good form with a great lead magnet to get people to sign up. Now, the next thing that a mail server does is that it sends bulk email. So I sit out there with my email list, I send one email, and the email server takes it and duplicates it to all addresses and sends it out there. This is to hundreds and potentially thousands of email subscribers. And once again, the email server has special dispensation to do this without being considered a spammer. In this course, you'll learn how to compose emails that sell. We're going to talk about actually crafting your emails to sell books specifically. Now, what else does the email server do? It allows users to unsubscribe. So if you're a member of a list, there's going to be a little unsubscribe button at the bottom of every email that gets sent to that list. And if you click on it, your email will be removed from the list. This is part of the regulatory requirements of not being a spammer and maintaining a list. Next, you can segment your mailing list. For instance, let's say email addresses 2 and 3 are special. Maybe they bought a book in the past. So I want to send this email just to them. I can segment a list and send emails to only a part of an email list. Now, we're not going to cover this in detail because we have really no need to segment a list. We're going to blast away to everybody every time. But you can use surveys and other subscriber actions to segment a list. Now, what we're really going to focus on is automation. And this is an example of an automation workflow. Here you can see when the user subscribes to the group, Udemy students, the first thing they get immediately is a free course offer. This is the lead magnet, so it gets emailed out to them immediately. 2 days later, notice this wait 2 days, we send them the first offer to, in this case, a Udemy course. Maybe a week after that, we send them the next offer, a week after that, and you just have a string of these things that covers maybe 2 months of sending them book offers in your case automatically. You don't have to do anything. And that's the complete setup. So users subscribe using a subscription form, a standalone one, that you're going to link to from your book. You're also going to put links in your website if you can, and use social media and other marketing methods to point people to your subscription sign up form. Then they're going to be subscribed to your list, and they will automatically receive, say, like weekly, a notification of a new book that they should consider buying. But the first thing that they're going to receive immediately is a link to your lead magnet, which is the reason that they signed up to the thing in the first place. All your email will have an unsubscribe button at the end. And if you want to, you can figure out how to segment your list to target your email even tighter.